If you've been slathering your hair in protein masks or dropping $50 or more on a bond builder, stop. One might be damaging your hair and one might be totally unnecessary, so watch this video first. By the end of this video, you're going to know which one works for you, which one you need, and which one might actually be unnecessary. So just to start off, if you're watching this video, you must want to grow longer hair and you want your hair to be healthier, which is something I've been on a journey on for a while, and I've discovered a lot of things. So first of all, bond builders do not help your hair grow, okay? Maybe that's out there. People are claiming it makes their hair grow. It doesn't make your hair grow. However, it can help you with length retention. Hair growth is always influenced at the scalp, and the biggest determination on what's going to speed up your hair growth or not is internal. So your food, your diet, your exercise, your sleep, and lastly, your genetics, obviously. Your hair grows from your scalp. When it's external, it's growing from your scalp. Your hair doesn't grow from the ends. Bond builders and protein treatments are meant to go on your hair and not on your scalp, so therefore it doesn't influence how fast or slow your hair grows. What influences you having longer hair or not is usually not stunted hair growth, it's usually high levels of breakage. So let's start with bond builders. What actually are bond builders? Examples of bond builders product-wise are Olaplex, number 3, Redken, the acidic bonding concentrate, and K18, the leave-in molecular bond something, whatever, the first K18 product. These are all different versions of bond builders, and of course there are many more out there. The way these work are they repair the disulfide bonds in your hair, which are usually broken or damaged by heat or by chemical products like relaxers, keratin treatments, and other chemicals we use in our hair. So let's talk about the pros. The pros are they are great for maintaining hair, especially if you manipulate it a lot with chemicals or heat. So if you flat iron your hair a lot, you silk press your hair, or you wear it straight most of the time, if you bleach your hair, if you dye your hair, if you relax your hair, a bond building treatment will be a game changer because of its ability to repair the disulfide bonds between your hair strands. It also helps you retain length if you do these things because it helps boost the elasticity of your hair, which reduces breakage and keeps the ends healthier, which will lead to you having longer hair because you'll be retaining as much length as possible that you are growing. Now, when it comes to cons, it doesn't have any protein in it because it is a bond builder. It is not a protein treatment. So if you're using it in place of a protein treatment, which a lot of people think bond builders and protein treatments are interchangeable, they can serve a similar purpose, but they're not interchangeable. Because it doesn't have protein, if what you're lacking is protein in your hair, this will actually not be very helpful for you. If you have virgin hair, meaning you've never relaxed it, you've never dyed it, you've never bleached it, or you just barely use any heat on your hair and your hair is in its natural state all the time and your hair seems perfectly fine, sometimes this can be marketed to you as something that's going to help your hair grow. But if your hair is not damaged in a way that this product can repair, it might be unnecessary, which leads me to my last con, which is that bond builders are usually significantly more expensive than protein treatments, and sometimes they can be harder to get. So if it's unnecessary and you're getting something like K18, which can be around $70 for 50 mils, that can be very expensive unnecessarily because it's not even doing what you want to your hair. If you do things like bleaching your hair and dyeing your hair, unfortunately, it is a little bit more expensive to maintain and you may want to look into these. But if you have natural hair that you barely straighten or add heat to, this may just be something that's too expensive for an unnecessary reason, and what you might be looking for is a protein treatment. So let's talk about protein treatments. Examples of protein treatments are The Cure by Amika, Apogee, they have a 2-minute reconstructor, and then they have a 2-step protein treatment. And then we have other keratin masks, and then DIY versions that have less protein in them, like rice water. So now if we're talking about how protein treatments are different from bond builders, while bond builders help repair the disulfide bonds in between the hair strands, protein treatments help fill the gaps in between your cuticles to add strength to your hair. This helps reinforce weak strands, and when your hair starts to get that like over moisturized, very like mushy, ultra soft feeling, this is where a protein treatment can come in and be a game changer for you. So let's talk about the pros. If you have high porosity hair, or you bleach your hair, which can make your hair high porosity, or you use any other chemicals that make your hair feel very weak or porous, this can help strengthen your hair shaft and immediately fortify the hair, making it feel much nicer and stronger and healthier. Another thing protein is great for is preventing and stopping breakage and excess shedding. Sometimes your hair is shedding a lot because it is weak, because it is overhydrated, or maybe you're experiencing a lot of breakage because your hair strands are just weak. And if you have noticeable breakage in your hair, by this, it's either every time you comb your hair, you've got broken pieces of hair everywhere, or your hair is staying the same length for a really long time. That means your rate of hair growth is matching the rate of breakage that you have. You may need to use a protein treatment to help fortify and strengthen that hair, and it can help you have longer, stronger hair because you're retaining as much length as possible. Now let's get into the cons. A lot of treatments these days contain a little bit of protein in it. So let's say in your wash day, you're using a strengthening shampoo, which usually means it has some protein in it. And then you go in with rice water, and then you go in with a deep conditioner like Amika's The Cure. And then you go in with a leave-in treatment that says like strengthening and fortifying. You can actually have too much protein in your hair, which can cause a form of protein overload, which will actually make your hair very dry and brittle and very prone to breakage. Now, let's say you're only using one strong protein treatment like the Apogee. Apogee treatments and other strong protein treatments require you to go over them with a moisturizing treatment. However, they can feel really good on the first day, and this can deceive you. So let's say you wash your hair today, you use an Apogee treatment, and your hair can actually feel really nice and soft. And then 2 days later, it feels like your hair is all of a sudden so dry and brittle, and you don't know what you did wrong. It may be because you didn't follow up with a moisturizing conditioner or deep conditioner after you use the protein treatment to make sure you have a good protein moisture balance in your hair and ensure that your hair stays nicely hydrated, but not dry and brittle that can eventually lead to breakage. Another con is if you don't know how to balance protein and moisture, you can easily go wrong. So bond builders can be a little bit easier to use because they are more like an added step in your routine. They don't promise to moisturize your hair or do anything else. The only thing they promise to do is to repair the bond. So all you do is do everything that you normally do in your routine, but add a bond builder. However, with protein treatments, sometimes they're advertised as more of like a replacement. So like this week, instead of using a moisturizing deep conditioner, you can use a protein treatment instead. But usually you still have to balance it with something else, and you have to learn your hair's moisture protein balance. So if your hair feels a little bit too mushy, it means you need to go in with a protein treatment and make sure that there's a balance. If your hair feels a little bit too brittle and hard, it means you need to go in with a moisturizing treatment. And sometimes maybe if you do a protein treatment every week, you may notice that your hair actually feels perfectly fine, so you need to skip a week and just go in with a moisturizing treatment again. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a little bit more of a learning curve because you need to know your hair's natural protein and moisture balance. Now let's talk about things that they both have in common that are actually positive and negative. So one thing that they both do is they promote you having longer hair because they help you retain as much length as possible by strengthening your hair strands, sure, in different ways, but they both strengthen your hair strands in ways that ensure that you have less breakage and more length retention. And then a thing that they both don't do is promote hair growth. Like I said in the beginning, hair growth starts internally and then stimulation and everything else happens at the scalp. Because these are not applied topically to the scalp or any other area that would promote hair growth, they both do not do that. So please, I guess at the end of the day, the outcome is still the same. You want longer hair, and so to get longer hair, both these products will help you. It just won't increase the rate of your hair growing. Now, speaking of scalp care, I've got a lot of videos when it comes to oils you can apply to your scalp, devices you can use on your scalp massages. And so if you want another specific video that focuses on scalp care and stimulating your hair growth from your scalp, please let me know in the comment section below because I would love to know and I would love to make that video for you. But for now, let me tell you a little bit of my own personal experience with both protein treatments and bond builders. So I think I've used protein treatments for a longer time than bond builders, but now I actually use less protein treatments and more bond builders, and this is why. First of all, my deep conditioner is already a little bit of a balance of a protein and moisture. I like to use my Amika, the deep nourishing mask, whatever, the one in the orange container. That already has a really good balance of all the ingredients, so I don't feel the need to use a separate protein treatment. Another thing is my hair never feels like mushy, overhydrated. I don't usually feel the need to use a dedicated protein treatment, but that's also because this is the natural color of my hair. I don't bleach it, I don't dye it, I don't use any harsh chemicals in my hair. I also don't straighten my hair often. I know that my hair is in a silk press right now, but this is only the second time I've straightened my hair this year. I do blow dry my hair using the tension method, but the only thing that I feel serves me best is a bond building treatment. And I actually noticed a drastic difference in my length retention and just the overall strength and look of my hair when I started using bond builders. My favorite one is the K18 leave-in molecular mask. I always get it on sale, and I will link all the products I'm mentioning in the description box below. These most likely will be affiliate links that will cost no additional cost to you, but they do help support this channel. Nothing is sponsored. And recently I put my sister onto the Redken acidic bonding concentrate, which from what I've seen works very similarly and gives a very similar effect to the K18, except it's like a quarter of the price for triple the amount of the product. So I would highly recommend that as well. And for me, because the only manipulation I do to my hair is the occasional blow dry and an occasional silk press, bond builders are all I need. And then the rest of the products that I use in my hair already usually have a balance of protein and moisture, so it's not necessary for me. And if I could personally pick one, I would pick a bond builder. So if you are making a quick decision on which one you should get, if you're considering getting one or the other or both, use this simple, quick guide to decide which one is right for you. If your hair is damaged in any way, if your hair is bleached, if your hair is dyed, if your hair is relaxed, or you use any other treatment that drastically alters the texture of your hair, like something that loosens your curl pattern or straightens your curl pattern, go for a bond builder. Yes, sometimes they can be a little bit more expensive, but a bond builder is what's going to help you more. If your hair feels weak, limp, you're experiencing a little bit of excessive shedding, a protein treatment is probably what you are looking for. And the Apogee and Amika's The Cure are the products that I would recommend for you, and they would probably make a bigger difference quicker than a bond builder. Now, if your hair feels overall healthy, it looks fine, you're not experiencing crazy shedding, you don't seem to have damaged hair, you're not experiencing excess shedding, you're not experiencing dry, brittle hair or weak, limp hair, your issues are probably internal and at the scalp. But also you're having issues with length retention. So both of these could help, but you also need to look at your diet and focus on scalp care. Now, as you've noticed at this point, these products actually work sort of similar, but they do different things. So instead of thinking of which one should I get, think of them as teammates. You may only need one, but you could also benefit from having both. So if you experience weak, limp hair sometimes or a little bit of shedding, but you also have damage from bleach and hair dye or relaxers, you may need to use both. You definitely do not need to use both of them on the same day, but both of them can have a place in your hair routine. Have you used either a bond builder or a protein treatment or both? Let me know in the comment section below which one works better for you. For me, I'm a bond builder girl. It's changed my life, but there's room for both in my routine. Let me know if you want me to do a deep dive into scalp treatments in the comment section below as well. Hit my face right there to subscribe if you didn't in the beginning and watch this video that is specially for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!